How do you come up with your initial price whenever you're sending out your estimate for a lawn mowing job? You know, in the beginning, it's very intimidating trying to figure that out. We've all been there, and in this video, my point is to help you out and hopefully streamline some of that process, show you some of the stuff that I use in determining how much I charge per yard. Okay, my disclaimer is your market is different from mine and his market is different from his, and we all have to come into agreement on that, and everybody has to be on the same page, so you cannot simply plug and play and copy people's prices. I will give you some of my example prices for my area, but again, this does not work if you have not done a little bit of the legwork yourself and made a few mistakes, okay? There's no substitute for getting out there and making a few mistakes, okay? That being said, how can we streamline a couple of those mistakes, all right? The first thing is that you can call your friends and family and ask them on their particular size yard, what would you be willing to pay for lawn service on their yard? Now, you know, hopefully they're not like cheapskates or something, but you can actually ask them, say, hey, you know, realistically, what would you pay to have somebody come out, you know, fully service the yard? That's a good way to check. The second way to check is to get in touch with a couple of competitors and then have them come out and even give your friends and family pricing, and that will get you in the general ballpark, okay? That is my disclaimer on how you can go ahead and figure out your basic market prices in your area. But now we're going to dive into, okay, let's talk about some of the nitty gritty, how you determine what you're actually going to charge, why a yard should be $30 instead of $35, or why a yard should be $45 instead of $40, all right? Let's talk about that. The first tip that I would give you whenever it comes to figuring out your lawn mowing prices is that you have to be laser focused on a particular size property, okay? You have no business cutting an eighth of an acre and then driving off from that property and then going around and then cutting some 5-acre field. If you're just starting out, man, and that's what this video is geared towards, is for the new guy, it's that if you are just starting out, you're not set up to do all that. And the fastest way for you to screw up is to take on different size properties, and your pricing is going to be messed up, man. The best tip that I can give you in the beginning is to figure out what your market supports. What are the builders building? Are they building on 1/4 acre lots? That's your market, dude. Are they building on 1/2 acre lots? That's your market, okay? If you live up in the north and most of the properties are like 2 acres and with lots of rolling hills, and then that's your market and that's your thing. But you have, number one, have got to figure out exactly what property you want to focus on, okay? You have to know that. That is the key to everything. That is the number one most important thing. The number two thing is that whenever you figure out, you know, what your ideal size property is, you have to come up with only a few prices, all right? I say a few, there's going to be some fluctuations, but in general, you know, you need to have a small variance in your pricing. And then let's take that a step further and say we are only going to offer a few different prices for this. We're going to keep it completely simple. And I go back to this all the time, guys, but you know, I like to think I have a pretty good head on my shoulders, but the fact is that nothing gets implemented unless you keep it simple. I've always taken a keep it simple, stupid approach. That's what we're talking about here. Getting focused is keeping it simple. Only offering a few different prices is keeping it simple, okay? Let's go to the third thing. So the third thing whenever you're determining your pricing for your lawn mowing is you need to come up, and this is it. This is what everybody's been waiting for, the pricing schematic sheet, okay? You need your own for your market, all right? It's going to have the turf square footage size, number one. It's going to have, if they have a lot of obstacles in the yard, you know, like if it's an inline lot, corner lot, those types of things, you can give it different weights. And then number three, it's going to be, do they want weekly or bi-weekly service? That's it, dude. Like, there's so many details you can get bogged in, you know, as to, do they have three trees to weed eat around or 4 trees to weed eat around? Do they have edging to do on the sidewalk or just the driveway? Do they have a curb? Are they a corner lot? Are they on a hill? Do they have obstacles in the backyard? You know, how much stuff is there to mow around? And you can just get bogged down in all that crap, man. But I'm telling you, the easiest way is to come up with a pricing schematic sheet with just a few different property sizes. When I say property size, I mean turf size. Give those property sizes different weights based on how much weed eating or how difficult the property is in terms of edging. I just give it 3 different weights, And then finally, does the person want weekly or bi-weekly service, all right? That's how I do my pricing schematic sheet. Let me give you an example of a pricing schematic sheet. I'm not gonna give you exactly what I do here at my company because I know a lot of my competitors watch my channel, and that's cool, whatever. But I don't wanna give you our exact pricing, so I am gonna give you a concept sheet that you can implement immediately. And again, this goes back to you doing a little bit of legwork on your own, knowing what size property you want, and then focusing on those sets of properties with only a few different prices, okay? Check it out. Okay, so the first thing you're going to see here is on the left-hand side, there is the turf square footage, and then level 1, level 2, and level 3, that is the difficulty level of the property, okay? Level 1 would be just, wide open, just about as easy as it gets, minimal weed eating, an inline lot, meaning no corner lots, just minimal edging, maybe just a driveway. So level 2 would be something that has, a fence and some weeding in the yard, and maybe they have a driveway and a sidewalk. That would be an example of a level 2 yard. And like a level 3 for us would be something like it's a corner lot with a sidewalk that wraps all the way around it, a big curb to edge around that requires more time, and there's a lot of weed eating and stuff on the yard. So that is, in general, guys, just a rough way to give your properties different weights, because we all know that a 5,000 to 6,000 square foot lawn is not the same on every property. Every property is different, so that's how I give them weights, okay? Level 1 being the easiest, level 3 being the most difficult. All right, now the levels, those are all weekly prices, and then if a client wants to switch to bi-weekly service instead of weekly service, we tack on an extra 20%. I'm going to do a separate video on why I love bi-weekly yards. There's a lot of controversy as to whether you should even do bi-weeklies or not. And I just got to tell you guys, I absolutely love bi-weekly service. That's a topic for another time, but I love bi-weekly service. I'm just going to leave that at that, okay? So again, all those prices are for weekly service. And then if the client wants bi-weekly, we just add an extra 20%. So that's the way we do it, guys. How do we get our turf square footage? We use Yardbook. I will pin another video that I have done regarding Yardbook and how we do our estimating process with measuring out the property online. But that's it. So again, just to recap, it's so important that you know the ideal property size, because whenever you have your ideal property size and you're able to focus on that, then you can just offer only a few different prices, only a few different pricing options, whether they want weekly or bi-weekly, and then based on the difficulty of the yard. It just keeps everything simple for you, and the simpler you can make it, the quicker you're going to implement it, and the quicker you implement some type of pricing schematic sheet, the quicker you are going to stop making mistakes and then get out onto these properties and realize, oh my God, I'm out here cutting this for $40 and this is a $65 yard. Guys, that is a miserable feeling whenever you are out there working your butt off on a yard for the same price, when you go next door and do that same yard and it's twice as easy for the same price. Like, you got to stop doing that, okay? The way you fix that is by having some type of cheat sheet. That's the way that we do it here at my company. So again, I want to share with you a couple of those videos. I'll link those up here so you can see those. Very important that you check those out because they tie into this video. Whenever you're trying to figure out your mowing prices, you need to not only understand your market and your particular size yard, you need to have a pricing schematic sheet, and you need to understand how profitable each yard is. This is the way that we do it. Good luck, guys. Y'all take care.